Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Once again, your host Arif Jahangiri in the program Community Talks. And as you know that in Ontario, there will be a next month we have an election June 2nd, 2022 in Ontario, and it's a very vital election for the Liberal Party as well, and definitely the Conservative Party is the ruling party at the moment in Ontario, and they are in the pollings, they are way ahead with the other two parties, NDP and the Liberal Party. So I just today watched that Conservative Party is on 37% of support they have, and Liberal Party is 29% support, and NDPs are having 24% support. Although the NDP is the official opposition party at the moment, because we all remember that in the last election of Ontario, Kathleen Wynne, in the leadership of Kathleen Wynne, Liberal Party is really lose the official status of the party in the parliament because they are not able to get the minimum seats in the Ontario. That's why they lose that status. And on the other hand, the NDP really did well in the last election. They are able to get more seats and they are becoming the opposition, a good opposition against the Conservatives. So there are many things is happening there, and you know that in every election all the party make their promises and they come up with some promises, and this year also we see the promises from the Conservative Party, from the promises from the Liberal Party, promises from the NDP as well. So some of the specific thing which is very common in all the three parties, one thing I realized that all the three parties realizing the inflation and the stress on our health systems and the job markets and the housing market and the transit. So these are the 4 or 5 areas which is everybody, all the three parties have their priorities, and they set up some goals for them. For if they win the election, they will try to fulfill these promises. So that's a great thing, because in Canada is a welfare country, and we know that here the peoples are really taking care. And whoever the government come, they have the policies where they want to support the common peoples, our seniors, our educators, our healthcare staffs, or the common people, students, youngsters. So this election is very important for all the Canadian, because after COVID-19 there is a great inflation is going on. The prices of gas are very high, due to which that is not easy for the common man to really bring all the necessities of their family on the table. It's very difficult for them, and you know that the salaries are not increasing as the inflation is increasing. So these are the few important points. That's why I started this. You will see in the next 3-4 community talk episode, you will see that I will bring some of the candidates in the show and ask these tough questions to them, that what policies they want to bring up if they win the elections, and what their party, why their party is announcing this thing or not promising. What are they promising? Either is they are able to fulfill those promises or not fulfill promises. And you know that fortunately, alhamdulillah, there are many Muslim candidates are also the part of this election. Especially in the Liberal Party, you will find many candidates of our community, especially from the Pakistan back community. There are a lot of candidates are winning the nomination elections, and they are running the election as well. There are few in the Conservative as well. They are running the election as well, and there are many in the NDP side as well. So today I invited a very well-known politician in Mississauga. He's running many nomination election. He ran the last election against in the Arundel riding, although he lost that election, but he is running again in Arundel riding again. And I invited Imran Mian. And before I start talking with him, let's have a small video about him. So what's Imran Mian doing during his campaign, and what his one of the biggest promise that he wants to fulfill.
This is Imran Mian, your Liberal candidate from Mississauga, Erin Mills. I am someone who commuted extensively downtown, and I know how costly that could be. The Ontario Liberal team and I are making life more affordable for the families and commuters and people who want to get off the road in Mississauga, Erin Mills, and across the province by reducing the transit fare to $1. On June 2nd, you'll have a choice between a buck of beer and a buck of ride. Make the smart choice, vote Liberal, choose Imran Mian.
So you just watched the video of Imran Mian that how he started his campaign, and we all know that in the Mississauga, if somebody don't know Imran Mian and the politics of Liberal, then it means that he's not living in the Mississauga. So welcome Imran Mian to our studio in Community
Thank
Talk.
you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So Imran, we all know that you are a long time in the Liberal Party, and you started your journey as a politician, and you run few elections as well. Unfortunately, not able to succeed up till now, but we are hopeful that this year, June 2022, you will be the parliamentarian and win the election this time, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. So, people want to know, because there are a lot of people when I discuss about Imran, and they want to know about Imran as well.
Okay.
That why Imran Mian joined the politics, because he's an engineer. I know that he's a businessman as well. He's an IT personal. So why politics?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm not an engineer, so I want to just make sure. But I am a business person.
Okay.
Do have a business degree from York University. I got involved in politics because I was interested in being involved in policy, and I wanted to be at the table where policy was being made. And so 2005, I think that's when I actively started getting involved. And then after a few years, that's when I realized, that's when a number of my friends and family members encouraged me to actually consider running. So I never started my political journey with the candidacy. First, I would say probably 6-7 years, I just volunteered and understood the process. But I also learned, and why I ultimately made the decision to become a candidate is because when you're in government, you can affect change. You can make a lot of decisions that can improve the life of your fellow citizens. And I believe governments exist to make life better for its citizens, and that's why I wanted to be in politics, because I wanted to do something that my kids could be proud of one day.
So that's wonderful, and because this is a great reasons why somebody have to be in the politics, because we want to bring the changes in the life of many people in this, and we are thinking that I am the person who can really bring the good policies for the government. So Imran, the next important question, because there are many, there are many parties like conservatives that they have their own ideology that on the basis of conservatives peoples are thinking, right? There's a liberal ideology is in the country as well, and on the basis of liberals and secular peoples are thinking. And there are third is NDP, where they are supporting the mass laborers class and the peoples who are working class, but conservative and liberal, they are supporting both type of peoples. That's very true, right?
Yes.
So why you join Liberal Party? Why you make this choice?
This is a very important question. So when I decided to actively get involved, I did study the Conservative Party's philosophy, the NDP, and the Liberals. And ultimately, it's about being in government is about collecting revenue through taxes and dispersing services against that revenue. And what it boils down to is who has the best or better vision for the families in Ontario. And I felt that the Ontario Liberal Party and Liberal Party in general was always on the side of people. You know, having its values is one thing, but being able to make decisions based on science and evidence is what I believe in. And when you have the data, you have the science behind your decisions, you can impact a larger number of people across the spectrum. And that is why, you know, on the other side, conservatives believe in, you know, just letting people fend for themselves and having sort of hands-off approach. The NDP they haven't had any experience being in government. I mean, the last time they were in government provincially was in '95, and people didn't have a very good experience at the time. So liberals are compassionate. You know, they have evidence-based policy decision-making process. For this upcoming provincial election, we engaged hundreds of thousands of people to get their input in our effort to build our platform, which was actually just released 2 days ago. So we believe in consultation, we believe in evidence, we believe in science, and we believe in a vision where we empower people. We want to make sure that our seniors can live independently at home with dignity. We want to improve our healthcare system. We want to make sure our kids have the right tools, they have the right support structure in their schools, with fewer students in class, with more teachers being able to provide, you know, in-class learning experience. So there's a stark difference between our vision and the vision of our opposition parties. It's really up to the people of Ontario to choose who's best for them. It's their choice. What we're proposing is a place to grow, and with our platform, our ideas, our team, Ontario can once again grow and prosper and be safe, be healthy, and be competitive.
So one of the important promises, I'm reading the Stephen Dalduca promises of the election 22. One of the very important promise he made that he want to balance the budget in 2026 and 27, right?
Right.
But I think this is an approach always by the conservative. They want to keep the balance, the budget. They don't want to spending. But why did Stephen Dalduca start thinking on that lines? Why?
Well, we're always fiscally responsible. You know, that's why I said we're compassionate, but at the same time, we want to invest the money in the right areas, in the right priorities. Education is a priority for us. You know, building more schools, repairing old schools. We're going to repair 4,500 schools, build 200 more schools. We're going to hire 10,000 educators, including teachers. So that's our vision. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we balance our books. We always do. You know, liberals always balance the budget. But at the same time, we don't do it at the cost of letting people fend for themselves. This is not the time to do that. You know, we're just coming out of a very disastrous pandemic. So as a government, we need to make sure we're there for people. We're lifting them up. And at the same time, we're responsible with people's money.
So one of the important questions some immigrant asked me to ask with you, especially because we are immigrant, and you are belong to an immigrant community as well.
I'm a very proud first-generation Canadian of Pakistani origin.
Exactly, community. So one of the questions they asked that what are some different problems and the issues facing by the immigrant community as compared to the local communities who are living a long time here?
Yeah, there's always, when it comes to the job market, you know, immigrants tend to struggle a bit more than people who've been here longer. And the reason for that is, you know, organizations, companies ask for local experience. So they do face that challenge. But integration is a major issue, right? We should not force people to assimilate, but rather we should provide the framework. We should provide the means for people to be able to easily integrate and be on their own as soon as they land here. You know, whether it's their credentials, whether it's getting a house, with the housing market on fire, we want to make sure we are doing everything in our power to make housing affordable for everyone as well.
Yeah, this is a very important subject. That will be my next questions to you, because I asked these questions to the conservative, I asked these questions
Yeah.
to the NDP as well as I want to ask with you, Imran, as well.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the biggest challenge for upcoming generations. It's not for the generation which is I belong to or somebody else belong to. So the important is that, okay, the some house which I bought like $250,000 like 10 years or 12 years before, just a 3-bedroom house or apartment of like $250,000 or $300,000 is now skyrocketing like millions plus, and the apartments are going to be 800 plus, something like a reasonable apartment. And how these younger generation will afford this one, this is one of the biggest challenge. And I know that there are promises are there from each and every party that they will build this much houses, they will allow this one, this. But I don't see a concrete policies on the basis of which you can really tact the real estate market, or the people who are building construction, the people who are owing the construction business. You're not bringing any policies to them so they cannot go beyond that, because they buy somehow. Let's suppose I give you the example of the Milton, right?
Yeah.
So somebody buy the land like 10 years or 15 years before, right?
Yeah.
And there's a big organization who is building every second buildings there, every second house is made by them, and they bought like 30 years before, 20 years before, and they keep the land there. They don't build until the prices are going up, and now the prices are up, and the same land which they bought it there, they are not only profiting on that land, but they are profiting on the housing as well. But there is no policy from the government that within 5 years, if anybody buy the land, they have to build the house. There is no such policies are there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, Doug Ford and his conservatives are so tight with the big few developers that they do everything to support them. If you look at the 413 that they want to build, which will only save about 30 seconds in commute time, and they want to invest $10 billion of your money in building that highway so that the developers that own the land in the neighborhood of that vicinity can benefit and profit from it. We are going to first of all cancel that project and take that money and put it in education, but specifically around affordable housing, we're not going to get into this blame game of blaming the municipal partners or other stakeholders. We're going to collaborate with everybody. We're going to come up with solutions. We've already made a pledge to build 1.5 million homes, and that includes people who are in the business of building homes in development. We're going to end the practice of buying this land and sitting on it. If it's ready to be built, it needs to start. So the problem really is around supply, right? If we can help increase the supply, it would definitely help cool off the market that we have right now, and being able to commit to a 1.5 million figure, I think that would help to alleviate some of that pressure on the real estate market.
So another important area where we all are suffering, including you and myself as well, there's a long waiting time of if you go any clinic or your family doctors, you have a long waiting time. If you go for surgery and diagnostic center or something else, you will find a long ride, and there's backlogs are there, right?
Yes.
And one of the promise that Stephen Del Duca made for this election is that he will clear those backlogs, and he putting $3 billion, I think. So,
$1.2 billion.
$1.2 billion in the system, so they can clear the backlogs. So I know that the promises are there, and every time I'm listening, because I'm 22 years I'm living here, I listen those promises, Kathleen Wayne time, and before Kathleen Wayne, Liberal government is there, I listen from there as well. Now I'm listening from Doug Ford as well. And now again, I'm listening from the Stephen Del Duca. But these promises are there. Definitely they put the money, but these backlogs are there. We are not able to really overcome these difficulties.
Well, first of all, you have to look at why these backlogs are there in the first place. Unfortunately, Mr. Ford brought a bill called Bill 124 in 2019, which sort of capped the salaries of all the healthcare workers, all the public sector workers, in fact, including the nurses. Nurses are the backbone of our healthcare system. Without them, you cannot run a healthcare system. So when you freeze their salaries at 1% inflation, which isn't in line with the rising costs, cost of living is going through the roof. So a lot of the nurses were leaving, going to other provinces, or even switching their profession altogether because they were getting burnt out. And when you have an exodus in a profession, that leaves a lot of the workload, and that contributed to creating that huge backlog. The other part was that not managing the pandemic properly, which with the whole vaccine distribution and not really being very efficient. So the ICUs were all filled up. So therefore, you could not have those surgeries. So we are making a commitment to address the backlog immediately if we're elected on June 2nd with a $1.2 billion investment in it. We're also making a commitment to repeal Bill 124, which is one of the main causes of not having enough staff at the hospitals. So that contributes to more wait times in everything, whether it's surgeries or anything else. So those are two commitments we're making in order to address those concerns.
So you bring a very important point. We already have the issues on our health system, right? And it is under stress. But one of the area which is, I think so very keenly, any government is not addressing, I didn't see any in the promises. One of the areas is that why we not bring more nurses to in our education system, so more children and more youth will go there in the nursing system. They find it makes so difficult, it's so competitive, they make it that it's not easy for everyone to really go. If somebody really want, he will not able to. Either he is not able to go easily to go to the doctors, the people don't able to go to doctor, either they work very hard. I see a very hard-working children, they are not able to succeed. System is so strongly condemn them or discourage them, so they are not able to go, because we have few universities only which are able to take. You see in the US, every second university is there, and if somebody even you have the money, you cannot go into the system here. So why do you not think that this is one of the area where liberals have to speak out and talk about this issue as well?
Well, one of the reasons I highlighted already is because for the nursing profession, the amount of effort and hard work that goes in, the reward isn't proportional to the effort.
Exactly.
So therefore, kids who want to consider that profession probably don't end up doing it. But on the other hand, there's a lot of competitiveness, because now, whether it's engineering or medicine or IT, there's a lot of competition. So kids have to really, really work hard. But as a government, our job is to make sure that anybody who works hard gets to go to the school that they choose to go. Money should not be a problem, and they should be able to reach their full potential with the framework the government is responsible for.
So two last questions, Imran, very important questions. Okay. One is that what are some issues that Aaron Mill riding people think that these are our issues, Imran, and when you go into the parliament, you have to fulfill that promise?
100%. Number one issue is affordability, cost of living. I knock on so many doors every day, about 200-300 doors I personally knock on every day. My team and I have knocked on thousands of doors since our campaign began. And affordability tops all the issues with the cost of living going through the roof. That is why we announced the Bucka Ride, to provide relief to people who take public transit or who can't potentially take public transit. That would provide immediate relief, to families and commuters. We also announced removing the tax on a up to $20
Grocery.
cooked meal. So the provincial portion of the tax, which is 8%, that if you're buying a cooked meal outside, you can save some money there. Seniors' issues are, by the way, the Bucka Ride will not only provide relief, financial relief, but it will also help cut emissions by half by 2030, and take off about 400,000 cars off the highways and roads, because people could potentially take a public transit. So it's a smart, practical, and effective policy that is designed to accomplish multiple things. The other issues are seniors. There's a lot of seniors in my riding, and probably across Mississauga and elsewhere. Seniors are, they actually built this country, they built this province, they built this city. So it's our job to make sure they can live independently with dignity in their own homes. We don't want our seniors to be warehoused in long-term care centers where we had so many deaths, thousands of deaths, because it's a commercial activity now. They care for profit more than they care for the well-being of seniors. So we're going to end that practice. We're going to decommercialize and make all the long-term care centers non-for-profit. We're going to provide a lot of support, hire more PSWs, so that seniors who need help can stay independently in their own homes, live with dignity. That's another issue. Small businesses, another issue. People who struggle through the pandemic, particularly small businesses and restaurants. We're going to provide a 2-year tax relief on the provincial portion. So again, our platform is designed to allow people to grow in Mississauga, Erin Mills, and across the province. The choice is really yours.
Okay, so for the last questions, being a politician, and inshallah, you will become the MPA in the parliament in the June 2022 election. What is one thing Imran Mian, when he started his politics, he wanted to do as a parliamentarian? One dream that Imran Mian want to fulfill as an MPA?
Well, there's not one. There's first of all, I mentioned that I want to accomplish things that will make my kids proud of me. Like I was proud of my dad. I always saw him when I was growing up. I saw him helping widows. I saw him helping the underprivileged. So my goal is to be the voice of everyone in Mississauga, Erin Mills, and be a champion of issues that I mentioned. The last 4 years, the province has been going in the wrong direction, and I want to make sure I'm part of a government that's compassionate, that's caring, that's fiscally responsible, and I want to make sure that business can thrive, our kids can reach their full potential, and our seniors can live at home with dignity. And we have a world-class education system, and we have the best healthcare system in Ontario.
Thank you, Imran, for giving us the time to Community Talk, and I wish you that you will, in the upcoming election, you will win this election.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Once again, I want to thank Imran Mian this is Imran Mian. I'm trying to ask the question on behalf of my community, because community want to listen the answer from our candidate, that if they are becoming the MPA, what are their policies, and what are some of the strategic move they want to do in the parliament, and what are the role they want to play in the parliament. And first of all, and we also want to listen that really our parliamentarians, the people who are going for the politics, they are ready for this politics or not. Inshallah, I will come back to you next week and bringing another candidate who is running this election. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Spring Creek Estates Niagara Homes is in its first phase, offering premium freehold homes from the 800,000s with a lot of upgrades. Custom built by Beam Building Group and located at Netherby in the QEW. 12 minutes from the Falls, 3 minutes to future Niagara Hospital, 1 minute to the QEW, and still in nature. Hurry, they're selling fast.
To book your unit, call 416-300-5600. That's 416-300-5600 or 647-295-7861. That's 647-295-7861.
الصلاة خير من
मस्जिद नूरुल हरम एक शानदार रूहानी तामीराती मंसूबा। माशाल्लाह वर्ल्ड इस्लामिक मिशन कनाडा खुशी से ऐलान करते हैं कि मस्जिद नूरुल हरम की तामीर का काम शुरू हो गया है। इस प्रोजेक्ट का डिजाइन और तफसीलात आप यूट्यूब पर मस्जिद नूरुल हरम ओकविल टाइप करके देख भी सकते हैं। इस शानदार रूहानी मरकज की तामीर में माली ताउन करके इसकी तकमील में हिस्सेदार बनिए। डोनेशन के लिए कॉल करें 9052571342 या WIMCanada.com पे लॉग इन हो।
रोशन मुस्तकबिल और अपनों का साथ जन्नत से कम नहीं। आप भी कनाडा को अपना घर बना सकते हैं और अपनों को पास बुला सकते हैं। एक्सपीरियंस्ड एंड रेगुलेटेड इमिग्रेशन कंसल्टेंट शहबाज अकबर के साथ मास्टर ऑफ बिजनेस क्लास इमिग्रेशन, एक्सप्रेस एंट्री, स्किल क्लास इमिग्रेशन, रेफ्यूजी क्लेम्स एंड फैमिली स्पॉन्सरशिप्स। कॉल नाउ एट 416-855-9464। ग्रीन स्टार इमिग्रेशन सॉल्यूशंस कनाडा।
रफ़ाक़ते रसूल भी कफ़ालते यतीम से बहिश्त का हसूल भी खुदा का क़ुर्ब पाइए रफ़ाक़ते रसूल भी कफ़ालते यतीम से बहिश्त का हसूल।
It's like our own and give you the best tax advice according to your specific situation. Dean and Associates, experienced CPAs and tax accountants have helped hundreds of clients and successfully managed their accounting and tax scenarios. With over 45 years of combined experience, Dean and Associates Accounting is a leading choice for incorporated professionals, small to medium-sized businesses, death and estate taxes, U.S.-Canada cross-border taxation, audits, reviews, and other assurance engagements, profit, non-profit, and registered charities, CFO services, and non-resident tax matters. Whether you need CRA and IRS representation, or you're looking for a leading-edge tax strategy, we would be most pleased to help you at our 5 convenient locations across Ontario.